A warm-hearted welcome to all our truth-seeking friends watching this program. My name is Eltisator, or Aaron's the name of my human body. With me is Ibulama, or Nikita, the name of her human body. Now, Ibulama, thanks for joining me in presenting this very needed, urgent program. Thank you so much.
Eltisator, it is a pleasure working alongside you. To our truth-seeking friends globally, thanks for watching this program, which is the most needed program ever. There will be 5 programs in this series. Be sure not to miss out on any of the 5 programs.
Please, and according to Christian Bible, all power on earth was given to who? To Satan. To reassign this power to all who were willing to keep Satan on his throne on earth. All authorities, from the highest to the lowest in rank, in all member countries of the New World Order, serve Satan as head of the New World Order.
To our understanding, white Christians in South Africa are unaware they serve Satan or the New World Order. According to them, they serve the Christian God without a name, the one they call on the titles God or Lord. Other Christians have a Messiah they promoted to the rank of God. Most of them do not believe in the existence of the New World Order or that they serve Satan. They do not accept something like a Deity Hierarchical Structure.
To our truth-seeking friends out there, if you find this program worthwhile, please link and share with friends you care for. Please subscribe to be notified for more spiritual renewal programs like this. We would appreciate it if you pop into our website, Barama's Tower of Light. We do not ask for sponsors. We only ask you to share these programs with as many people as possible.
The section YouTube on our website swarms of spiritual, uplifting program series you can only benefit from. We realize that Western Christians are not aware of the dark side dangers lurking and therefore compiled this series. With phase 1 of the Third World War unfolding, millions of Western Christians will die without hope of knowing the truth and being accommodated in the light side kingdoms of the highest. Most will stay behind as earthbound human souls. The reason behind this is obvious. If you are at the helm of your life on earth, your God, you do not need another God to serve you after your soul is transferred.
You know, Nikita or Ibulama, this is so true. You know, how can they think otherwise if you are at the helm of your life on earth? You are your own God. Why do you need another God? Especially, you know, when you fail something, then you need a God.
Yeah.
But when you're on earth, you're your own God. It doesn't work that way. And if they pray to a God, it's always orders,
Yes.
orders, demands, never ending. I ask the supreme of all the light side gods, named Toratare Yahweh Goria, if there was a specific series I must compile. That was after I've completed the 84th book on spiritual and psychic development. The answer was the name of this series, GOROLA, in 5 episodes. This is the first of 5 programs dealing with the question, with who are you going forward, visible and invisible? My sincere thanks to the guide Edinoma, who supplied us with the name of this series. GOROLA is the name of the series, and it means with who are you going forward, visible and invisible.
With what is currently unfolding globally, now is the right time to decide who you will spend the future with, visible and invisible to the human eyes. With who will you befriend from here on, and who will be the God in whose service you will be after watching these programs? Why is it important to answer this question? It is important to address this question because reality, visible to human eyes, changes as time goes by, without the majority of Western Christians knowing the consequences of what we experience as natural changes beneficial to mankind.
Oh, and isn't it a hoax, a lot of it. In today's hectic life, with stress levels skyrocketing worldwide, Western people experience everything happening worldwide as normal and try to adapt without asking questions that could cause them to lose their jobs. They do not want to feel like outcasts among Christian family, friends and colleagues because they are not brainwashed like the masses around them. They prefer to go with the flow, hoping for the best. Isn't that a tragic circumstance?
Brainwashed Christian masses cling to Satan's unfair laws and ways on earth without realizing it yet. Those who feel something horrible is soon going to happen worldwide do not care anymore. They feel their end on earth is near.
When I research paranormal activities done in other European and Eastern countries, those people do it in the name of their different gods. And which have no impact on demonic life forms. Then, or when they use the name of their gods, the demons laugh at them. They actually, about it because you saw it. Stirring up more activity as if the demons have no fear or respect for those gods at all. Now by this I don't mean that those gods are not real gods. Definitely not.
This tells me there is real living light side gods. Holy scriptures are also tampered with to falsify them in Satan's favor. I learned Allah, praise his name, to be a true light side creator, Hefkenam. Why would demonic life forms enhance their activity when hearing his name?
That makes one think. Allah, I mean, if you take the God that Christians prayed to during the apartheid era in South Africa, I mean, when they call on the Most High, there were actions, reactions. Nowadays, they come to me asking for help because they are praying to Jesus and who knows to whom else for guidance, for healing. Nothing happens. Why? Allah, praise his name, is one of the 26 light side kingdom creator Hefkenams, higher in rank and might and power than gods and ordinary Hefkenams. When I heal a sick dwelling house where earthbound human souls with their demons haunt, and I speak the name of the highest orator Yahweh Goria, I experience silence, no further activities from dark side life forms. This could only mean the ways and laws of Allah, praise his name, have been tampered with, degrading his holy scriptures into a joke that even the demons ignore. The unseen knows what each one's mindset and way of life entails.
Time does not stand still, neither will time wait for any human to adapt to what is forthcoming. Time is connected to all the cosmic laws programming. Western Christian nations' preference not to believe in the functioning of cosmic laws does not influence these functioning at all. What has been sown will be reaped, whether spiritual retards realize it or not.
Today's Western Christians are more than 2,000 years behind time studying the deity. They believe that their ancestors, or they believed what their ancestors believed, although today's Christianity is more satanic than anything else, due to their personal individual choice to be a Christian. They are brainwashed to get stuck in the past. What has changed since I was a kid? The answer is everything. Let us recap. Okay, Bulama, you are definitely not as ancient as I am, but for the reading of that, you can proceed.
Thank you, Ernst. The good old radio of yesteryear was better than television. National television came to South Africa in the early 70s of the 19th century.
Sorry, were you born at that time? I don't believe so.
Not yet, Ernst. What was so special about the national radio stations? Some of us were born long before the 70s when radio was essential in every South African household.
I was definitely one of those ancient
Yes.
ones. People in South Africa who were born before the arrival of television found comfort in listening to chosen radio programs scheduled for specific times during each day, Mondays to Sundays. In South Africa, we had Springbok Radio, or Springbok Radio as they say or call it, the English radio station, Afrikaans radio station, and others which were manned by black and brown broadcasters for the black and brown communities, serving them in their own home languages. We also listened to Radio Lorenzo Marx or LM Radio of those times.
According to South African people's judgment, Springbok Radio was by far the most popular radio station. At 7 a.m., South Africans listened to the latest news and the weather predictions for the day, which was more accurate in those days than today. This was followed up with a program named Monitor. This program gave more feedback on happenings nationwide.
Yes, it is worth knowing that most Afrikaans-speaking women in South Africa were housewives during apartheid. Mothers raised their children at home. I know my late mother listened to all the programs on Springbok Radio. From late night until early morning, music was played over this radio station, especially for the people working night shifts.
9 o'clock a.m. started with a series of story programs presented on Radio Theatre until 1 p.m. and again after 2 p.m. to 4:15 p.m. On weekends, most radio stations broadcast sport programs. The Afrikaans radio station, Radio Sonder Grense, Radio Without Borders, was and still is a Christian radio station.
If you grew up in time when television was absent, you will understand the following. On the television screen, you as viewers see the full detail of how everyone involved in a specific program looks. You can see the environment in full detail. The radio does not have those advantages.
When you listen to a story series on the radio, it functions like a radio theatre. You as the listeners have to create all the details of each program on the stage of your mind. You decide what each player looks like, what the surroundings looks like, and everything going together with that.
You know, in those days, Nikita and friends out there, we did not even know how the broadcasters look, or the people active in this radio theatre stories. And it was so nice, you know, to sit and listen. Then you hear, and this one did this, and then all of a sudden, while the crows are flying in the air, this and this happened. You fixed it in your mind,
Yes.
meaning my picture and your picture would be different.
Yes.
But there's something good behind it. By doing this creation on the stage of your mind, you practice your mind to be creative. Now, why on earth is it essential to have a creative mind? Without a creative mind, you cannot spiritually meditate, and without being able to meditate spiritually, you are spiritually blocked in further psychic and spiritual development. And before we go on, Ibulama, I just forgot something. Thanks to all the guides which is, or who are here today helping us. There's every time we do a recording,
Yes.
there's a guide or
Oh,
two
many.
extra here.
Yes.
You people out there, you will know when you watch the program, certain programs, you see a light shining from somewhere that I don't know where, shining on Ibulama, or you can see strange movements. I'm not talking about the cats drinking water there at the fountain. But thank you, Most High, and thank you to all the guides, especially the extra ones here, the scribes and everything. Bela Saturatri Yahweh, Gloria for them.
Television ended most Western people's ability to visualize and create sceneries on the stage of their minds. If you watch television regularly and request you to work practically on the first course in Brahm's writings, you will find it more difficult than a person who does not watch television regularly but listens constantly to a radio station and sometimes to a presentation of a radio theatre.
I mean, this is absolutely logic. If you are presented with every detail, your mind doesn't have to create
Yes.
what you think those people look like. So the mind is not in action anymore. Why is it important to keep your mind active in creating visual images of what you hear in a radio theatre on the stage of your mind? You know it, and all the others know it, but do you know it? Without being able to create visual images on the stage of your mind, you will find it almost impossible to practice two-way communication between you and your guides. You will not be able to see or experience other different vibrating light side dimensions or the actions going on inside there.
Why is it important to communicate two-way with a deity? Because it is the only way of communication with a deity where all ranks vibrate differently. If you ask your God a meaningful question, do you hear him answer? If not, something is wrong with the way you communicate with a deity.
This is something I could never understood in my life. How can you sit there and pray to a God without hearing an answer? God, I know you've got a council plan, and I know my name is in your council plan, but what is written in your council plan for me? If you do the same, will you hear the answer? If not, you're on the wrong track, my friend. It is as good as you living alone, and you cannot hear your God, your guides, nobody. What will be the outcome of it? Why is it important to have daily two-way communication sessions between us and the light side kingdom's deity? Because it is the only way for us to know what is forthcoming. Not only for us individually, but for all mankind. It is better to light just one little candle than to stumble through the dark. You know, Nikita, there was a man, I don't know if he's still in the land of the living, but he sang that song so beautifully. I think his name was Harry Seagam or Siegel or something. A beautiful, inspirational song. It is better. And you know, now I can say, indeed, it is very wise words to light one little candle than to stumble through the dark. Why do you want to stumble through the dark? Because it is dark if you cannot communicate.
Indeed, wise words. It is better to light just one little candle than to stumble through the night. One-way communication was proven never to work successfully before. Two-way communication is logically the best way of communicating between two or more persons. The same principle applies to communication between Western nations and the highest Toratara Yahweh Goria.
To talk to a God you never saw to exist but believe in is part of Western Christians' fool's paradise. They talk to imaginary friends they cannot see, But if their children
Yeah.
is talking to, or children are talking to imaginary friends, what does the parents do?
Yeah, put them on pills and everything.
Yes, now they
Are
cuckoos
crazy.
and whatever, but on Sundays in church,
They are the most crazy
yes.
ones.
What is meaningful in giving instructions to a God you never saw before and then seeing what happens? We learn to contact the Supreme by using spiritual meditation where we can hear what the highest or the Supreme replies. We promised us, or He promised us, who art His children, in the Bible, that He will not do something to us unless He told us about it in advance. In fact, there are more than one promise of that kind. Christians don't know about it, and they don't want to know about it.
We learn, among others, the cosmic science militia by which we tap into light side conversations to learn the higher vibrating dimensions healing arts as one example. We ask and where we deserve fairly to know the answers to our questions, we receive it directly. We do not have to see what happens, we know what is to come.
What about the different international news stations? Today, unlike when I was a child, when the radio and newspapers were our only news sources, we have different news stations on television to watch what's happening globally. Kabos and I watch television daily. However, we listen to radio theatre when available. We meditate spiritually on a daily basis. I mean, Ibulama and friends out there, why must we sit and listen to rubbish we don't want to listen? Why sit and be a subject to be waiting to be mind controlled or brainwashed by all this advertisements and rubbish? No, you pick what you want to listen. When I want to listen to music, as you know me, when you entered here this morning, what was playing? A hobo concert in what frequency? 432 hertz frequency. If you listen it on other radio stations, they transvert it to other hertz frequencies so that it cannot do to your mind what it's supposed to do.
Yes.
Now, I prefer the original.
We follow international news on the BBC News Channel, World News and the New World Order's News Channel. We see and hear firsthand what white Western Christians in South Africa refuse to watch. However, some will watch international news but not the New World Order News Channel. Christians believe the New World Order is a man-created hoax.
Most Western Christians prefer series on television by which they can stay brainwashed to believe what they are brainwashed to believe. In this way, the Western Christian masses stay brainwashed and unaware of the true dark side of reality's dangers lurking.
Why is it so important to follow the news presented by the New World Order? Because this is the only way to convince oneself of the reality that our world is governed by a new world order, following Satan's laws. More on the New World Order in a later program.
The influence of YouTube and other media on true reality is extremely important to take note of. Kabos and I do daily research by watching reality paranormal activity programs on YouTube and other similar media where true reality caught on digital cameras and videos are shared. What do these media channels reveal? Everything the Christianity doesn't want to hear of.
These channels reveal, among others, about everything the New World Order and the Christian Church hide from humanity. Realities like the following: visual proof of soul existence, the reality of dark figures existing from portals like unshielded mirrors, fireplaces, water ponds, computer screens, the list goes on. two-way communication sessions between the earthbound human souls and the researchers, including what happens after the human body dies.
How did you find the programs that you watched already? Those dark ghost ones and the Russian researchers.
It's just excellent. It's the best. What do you?
Eye-opener that
proof
you
for
can
them
get.
to
I mean,
see,
what more proof do you
Yeah.
want? You know, you show them, listen,
Yeah.
you cannot, this camera, a night vision camera, cannot see what we see.
Yes.
He looks otherwise, you know, he's seeing other dimensions as well. And I mean, what more proof? Those people, they don't even know about these programs, but, you know, they will be conceitful to shoot it off as
Yes,
hoaxes and
immediately,
whatever.
yeah.
Against what are they measuring it to be able to, you know, to put their ideas to it, what they think it is? Nothing at all. And this is only the tip of the hidden iceberg. What she mentioned is only the tip of the hidden iceberg. After decades of researching the paranormal as part of life form activities in other vibrating dimensions and planets forming part of the deity, I learned a lot from these guys internationally. I do not currently have advanced technology such as a ghost box, to name only one example. I learned from these guys two-way communication sessions with demons and earthbound human souls. During our two-way sessions with our guides, we were asked to confirm the discussions we heard. And they always, what did they confirm? It to be, of course. This is how it works. As above, so below, and the other way around.
The most Western Christians, death is the final point after which no afterlife exists until one day when their Messiah Jesus will come to fetch them. Then, according to the Western Christians, the corpses will rise from their graves to go to heaven.
And the skeletons.
To most Western Christians, the soul is part of the human memory. Where this promised heaven is located, not even the Pope, as head of all Christianity, knows.
Now, you know, if you ask the church, the head of church, and he points up in the air. On the other side of the round earth, that one is pointing in another direction. So, but after all, it's our people's choice whether we want to follow Christianity or not.
Yep.
Most Western Christians representing the European nations pardon, do not know the difference between a human body and a human soul. When they refer to the human soul, they see the soul as a memory box or something similar. They are brainwashed to believe that when the human body dies, it is the end for that person.
To see dark human-like figures exiting a mirror or a television screen firsthand is a nightmare. When you see a human dark figure exiting a mirror or television screen, you have to admit life after death is a reality, regardless if Western Christians believe it or not. Most Western Christians are too scared to watch reality programs like this. To them, it is unimportant to know your spiritual enemies better than they know themselves.
Yes, they are not interested. Everything is from the devil, and everything that is from the devil, according to them, is unwelcome to learn about. But if you ask them, who's your greatest enemy spiritually? Oh, Satan. What do you know about Satan? Oh, he's a red person with horns on his head.
Yeah,
oh, my
exactly,
dear, my dear. During two-way communication sessions between the researcher and the earthbound human souls, using a ghost box, it is undoubtedly a reality that earthbound human souls exist. The reason behind this earthboundness is very clearly ignorance regarding the light side deities and the provisions of the cosmic laws and the deity's code of conduct.
The negative influence of television on viewers is noteworthy. Western nations are brainwashed by their governments under the watchful eyes of the New World Order and their Christian churches to be followers of the masses around them, never to ask questions about what is experienced. Even if they suspect something is wrong, they adapt to it, as long as no true light side God expects them to follow him. They are the gods on earth and they demand selfish favors daily to their unfair Satan God.
Something that I could never understood my own life. How can you pray to a entity you call a God and you give orders to a God? Isn't it the other way around supposed to be? Gods are supposed to lead us, to give us orders, not the other way around. It's so obvious, but Christians cannot see it. To them, a God is a servant. God, go with little Johanny, where he's going to school for the first day, and bring him home safely in Jesus' name. Please revive this one who is dead, or heal that one who is ill. Order after order after order. And then they come with that excuse, yeah, but the Bible says everything you ask the Father in Jesus' name, he will give you. Okay, ask him in the name of Jesus to let a golden box full of antique coins fall out of heaven, because it says everything. There's no excuses or exclusions. By watching television series about how other Westerns live, the masses mimic those in the story series. In this way, they never become spiritual leaders. They become like these personalities living a life as their gods at the helm of their own lives on earth. Isn't it horrific?
Among Western Christians, general spiritual knowledge is hard to find. Knowledge of the Bible's contents is absent. When following the masses living Satan's ways on earth, pure logic is absent in the minds of these Christian followers. Their ability to think logically was taken away the day they preferred to be part of Christianity.
Yeah, that is a new word that I found on the internet. Christendom. Christendom. I don't know if I pronounce it right, but that is what I found there. Christianity, a synonym for them is Christendom. So you said it correct, my friend. New World Order governments accept no proof as any proof. They are like blind sheep, rushing to be slaughtered without knowing it. They cannot see the unfairness of letting the sinless be murdered to set the murderer free. If you yell at them to look up and see, there's a dead bird flying, they will all look up.
Yeah.
Because they cannot realize you just said a dead bird.
Yes,
Look,
exactly.
the dead bird is flying. They will look up. Go test them. They will do so. They follow the voice of their satanic New World Order and despise the highest orator Yahweh Goria's cosmic laws and code of conduct. They follow Satan, but it does not scare them at all. In their eyes, they are where they want to be, at the helm of their lives on earth, demanding their God to see to it that their selfish, unfair, and undeserved wishes all realized. If Western Christians cannot be at the helm of their lives on earth, they are not interested in serving a God which they have to serve according to his terms and conditions. Their dark side deities must dance according to their music, or they reject them and become atheists rather than serve the true supreme of all light side kingdom gods. They as Christians compile the terms and conditions their gods must serve them under.
During apartheid in South Africa, public voters enjoyed the freedom of speech There was a gentleman's agreement among men to speak out loud. This meant if I knew you were a Satanist, according to the Bible's definition of Satanism, I was allowed to say it to your face. The Bible's definition of Satanism was enough proof.
Yeah, today it is not proof at all. Nothing are being kept as proof or accepted as proof. After the end of apartheid in South Africa, the New World Order satanic, unfair and undeservedly laws were accepted by our ANC Christian government. ANC presidents are sworn in with their right hand on the open Christian Bible. So please do not pretend the ANC is not a Christian government. Of course it is a Christian government.
The New World Order's Children's Act used by America was implemented in South Africa, where children are in charge and parents must listen and be extremely obedient to their children. Go and check your country's legislation to convince yourself of Satan's legislation.
Satan's legislation and modern Christianity's legislation are the same. Western people who live according to the cosmic laws of the highest are unjustly persecuted. If you are not part of the brainwashed Christian masses following Satan's ways, you are an outcast and you are discriminated against it in all areas of life.
The mainstream archaeologists, geologists, astrologers, Egyptologists and general scientists are busy waking up from their rational outlook on life. More rational thinking scientists are beginning to see that Earth's history is corrupt and needs to be rewritten. The first humanity on Earth dates back to about 201,365,116 years ago, and not 8,000 to 18,000 years ago.
I mean, how many brain cells do you need to realize the pyramid of Giza is not 18,000 years old? I mean, really? You don't, I wasn't there and I can tell them, so they who live there, who go there, who investigate it, how can they not see it? I'm not an archaeologist. You're not one, she's not one, he's not one, we can see it. I mean, how many brain cells do they need?
Yes.
The first humanity created on Earth consisted of an average of 100 components. Today's Western humanity consists on average 4 components, a fraction of their prehistoric ancestors. Evidence of this, among other things, human skulls of approximately 201 million years and older make the shelves groan in museums worldwide and can no longer be overlooked or ignored or accepted as the truth. Really. All of us are not mind-controlled or have less than 3 brain cells. Sorry.
The only reason they keep quiet about this evidence is to keep their jobs as doctors and professors at the universities they work for, governed by the New World Order. They work for the New World Order. What is going on in tectonic warfare?
Ooh, that is a name. Ordinary Christians in South Africa, they haven't heard of it, and when you mention it, they look at you if you from the devil. The few partaking strongest and most advanced countries as far as weapons of mass destruction is concerned are busy destroying food sources with man-made natural disasters. Western Christians do not believe that man can mimic and duplicate nature's ways. According to Western Christianity, only their church declared God Satan, as admitted by the Holy Christian Church herself, administrates the devastating powers of nature.
For more than 100 years, Satan's New World Order orchestrated man-made natural disasters. They decided which nations, races, and sub-races on Earth will live and who will die. They decide which nations need to experience natural tsunamis, earthquakes, cyclones, typhoons, landslides, etc. to be wiped out.
Yeah, in most cases the New World Order decides which countries' crops must be destroyed so that those governments are forced to borrow money from the World Bank for food to feed their people. The New World Order's worldwide legislation portrays Satan's unfair, undeserved mindset without any cosmic laws of the highest.
With a new world order governing planet Earth, there is no hope for freedom of anything among member countries of the New World Order. In the second program of this series, we will focus on Christianity and what it holds for their followers. We discuss the fact that the time span of the star house Pisces had come to an end decades ago. The big Christian awakening, unpleasant surprise, and more on the New World Order.
Can you imagine? I mean, the 2,000-year span of Christianity expired. We are 24 years in the next star house and what it means for us. And still they are waiting for the Messiah to come. His time went out 24 years ago already. Please bear with us until the end of program 5 for this series. I mean to hear everything. Then it will be for your spiritual benefit to choose with who are you going forward, visible and invisible. And please, guys, please remember to like, share and subscribe to be notified of the next program. Until then, love and light to you all. Bye!